My name is Michael Petersen, and I'm here to talk about our new study reported in Political Psychology. The study is entitled Social Welfare and the Psychology of Food Sharing. It's co-authored with Lene Aarøe and Niels Holm Jensen from Aarhus University and Oliver Curry from Oxford University. Using a range of methods, the study demonstrates that people's attitudes about the welfare state, whether supported or rejected, varies across the day depending on the current level of hunger. In two separate studies, we compared social welfare attitudes of people who took surveys just before and just after lunch. Across different measures, both studies showed that people before lunch are more supportive of the welfare state and think of welfare recipients as more deserving. In another study, we directly asked subjects about the current level of hunger, how hungry they felt, and also how many hours it was since they had had their last main meal. Again, we find greater welfare support among those who state that they are hungry and among those who have not eaten for several hours. This effect obtains even when we control for a range of socio-demographic variables. In fact, the effect of being hungry on social welfare support is just as strong as the effect of traditional socio-demographic variables such as income, education, and even whether people are on welfare themselves. So according to our data, there's a robust empirical phenomenon. Short-term hunger increases support for social welfare. The question is why this is a case. In a sense, the current study can be seen as yet another demonstration that voters are irrational and incapable of coherent political choice. Previous work in the field of political psychology has indeed shown that voters give in to all sorts of irrational impulses. For example, one study finds that voting in a church makes citizens more conservative. Other studies shows that shark attacks make voters more likely to punish the incumbent candidate, while people are more likely to reward the incumbent candidate if the local football team just won prior to the election. On the basis of such studies, citizens are frequently viewed as irrational and muddle-headed. We would like political psychologists and the general public to think differently about citizens and their capacities. At its core, politics is about basic questions of social life. How should we divide resources between us? Who is a friend? Who is an enemy? And what should be done with those who violate our rules? Behind the complexities of welfare politics, immigration regulations, and the criminal justice system, these are the core questions that politics addresses. Importantly, these questions are not new. They confront all people across all societies and have done so for hundreds of thousands of years. Our species originated in small hunter-gatherer bands. In these bands, too, political questions were imminent. How should we divide the meat of hunted game? Should we fear the tribe across the hill? Should we punish the thief that stole my cousin's arrows? These are core political questions. The view that we want to promote is that we should think about human political psychology as a tool. Like all tools, it serves a function, and like all tools, it has a design that enables it to carry out that function efficiently. The function of human political psychology was to help our ancestors solve the political problems that they confronted in their small-scale hunter-gatherer groups. This brings us back to hunger. While hunger has been abolished as a problem in many affluent countries, hunger was, according to the available data, one of the most persistent problems for our ancestors. One of the key evolved solutions to hunger was political. The solution was to share food. Those having food shared with those who were out of hunting fortune that day, and on the next day, the roles reversed. Accordingly, our psychology has acquired a design that involves mechanisms that respond to hunger by activating mechanisms to reach out and get others to share the resources. The design of human political psychology is an optimal tool for handling hunger under ancestral circumstances. In the context of modern politics, however, it creates a seemingly irrational response. It makes people more favorable towards the welfare state when hungry. Today, the welfare state is the modern sharing institution par excellence, and our food sharing psychology come to structure the opinions towards this institution. On the one hand, this is hardly rational. Whether you have had lunch or not doesn't make any difference to the objective value of the welfare state to you. On the other hand, this does not reflect that voters are empty-headed. What it does is that it reflects a mismatch between the conditions of modern politics and the incredibly sophisticated design of our political psychology.